Howdy all, this is Texas Gaming Industries here, and welcome to another episode on my Let's Play of Transport Fever 2. In the previous episode, we completed the last few tasks needed in the Transvaal Republic, which is now under the ownership of the British, and basically we had to reconnect our railway network of the Transvaal Republic to basically the British Railway. Even though we were able to get Johannesburg all the needed commodities, I felt like that was kind of a hard mission. But, however, in this episode, we're going to tackle the final mission of the campaign, Inventors and Adventurers, as well as the final mission in the entirety of the campaign, as the mission, the Great Air Race, is about to start. So, let's head to the campaign and learn what that's all about.
Mankind is constantly creating amazing new inventions. Get involved in rapid...
In 1919, the Australian government offered a prize of 10,000 Australian pounds for the first Australians in a British aircraft to fly from Great Britain to Australia.
The final mission, and actually the most recent added to this list, the Great Air Race, we're basically in charge of helping getting an airplane from the United Kingdom to Australia. Our bonus tasks are actually showing up. That's because I actually attempted to do this mission before. However, though, it was quite complex and very, very hard to basically complete. But, however, despite that, though, this is going to test all of my strength and knowledge of building a profitable transport network to complete this final mission. So, let's get started. Significant technology developments in aviation occurred during the First World War. British aims to establish airmail routes to the far ends of its massive empire. But is it even possible to fly that far? The Australian government announced a 10,000 British pound prize for the first all-Australian crew to fly from England to Australia before December 31st. The Smith brothers conceived a Vickers Vimy, a former British heavy bomber, for the race. Its call sign GEAOU. God help all of us.
Australian Prime Minister Billy Hughes was flying between England and France for the Paris Peace Conference when he came up with the idea of a great air race across the world to Australia. Soaring high above the English Channel, Hughes quickly realized the potential of aviation to unite the empire and inspire his young nation after a devastating war. So he offered a £10,000 prize for the first Aussie airman to fly from London to Darwin in a British-built plane. The catch? They had to land on home soil before the next year.
But before we do that, welcome to the final mission of the game. As you can see, this map is huge. It actually, in fact, incorporates many particular landmarks. We got Britain, France, Spain, Italy, Austria, Greece, Northern Africa, the Middle East, India, the Philippines, and finally Australia. This is not going to be an easy task, nor is it going to be very cheap. We got a lot of work to do. But before we do that, I'll need to get the mods installed for this particular mission, so I'll see you all in just a quick moment. And we're back. Now with the mods installed, let's get started on the final mission of the campaign.
The journey ahead is long and dangerous. You are going to need enough food for the entire crew, as well as tools for maintenance and, of course, lots of fuel. Make sure all these goods are available at Hounslow Heath Aerodrome. Get the airport supply to the second level.
Alright, our first task is basically to deliver supplies to this London Airport supply building. We need to basically provide food, fuel, and tools for the airplane going ahead. You also might notice this little chart down here. This is the aircraft range. This basically showcases the amount of fuel and food that we can have on board to reach our final destination. This is basically distances represented as the crow flies. It looks a little complicated. I'm pretty sure I might be able to understand it later on. But the thing is, we need to provide tons of food, fuel, and tools at each of the airports in the entirety of the map. So, without further ado, let's get started on some simple transport operations. I also changed my currency from British pounds to C, which I am now representing as credits, because this is going to take place in multiple countries. So we're going to call ourselves Worldwide Transport and basically get started on some operations. Madrid needs oil to be processed into fuel. We could drop off fuel here at Madrid, but we'll also need to provide some other commodities on the map. The tools factory will need lumber, and these food places need grain, livestock, rice, or fish. So, as for the vehicles, I've labeled them in particular parts of the map that we'll be using. Let's have a quick look at them, shall we? For locomotives, we have both engines from Europe, Asia, and North America. Quite a large selection, so to speak. But all of them will basically fit in particular parts of the map. For example, the American engines will operate in Northern Africa as well as the Middle East. The European machines will operate here in Central Europe. Going beyond Europe, vehicles that operate in this particular part in India will be using Asian vehicles. There will be transfer points between passengers between regions basically at some particular locations. Like here in Constantinople, trains of Europe will stop here, and trains of Asia will continue on from there. But, first things first, we'll need to start delivering some food here. Thankfully, there's a cattle ranch not too far from the food processing plant. All we just have to do is deliver food there, cattle there, and process into food. So let's get started on that simple task for now. We'll do this. Let's see. I'll put a double bay platform here next to the food processing plant. London branch, and then we'll extend the platforms out a bit for the vehicles. We'll then need to basically access this cattle ranch and do the same procedure. Dang it, I'll have to basically rebuild that because it was too close to the farm's grounds. Much better. Alright, with that done, we can now set up a simple starting route to transport cattle to the food processing plant. Also on the map, there's also an oil well, a coal mine, some iron ore mines, a grain farm, and several other industries. Now, according to the industry list, we can pick up rice here near the Philippines and India, cattle in Bombay as well in London, fish in Athens, Greece, Bangkok, and Bandar Abbas in the Middle East. There's tons of food processing plants, tons of tool factories, which require both steel or lumber to produce tools, fuel refineries, oil wells, fuel refineries, oil refineries, sawmills, steel mills, oil wells. There's a whole bunch of industries. But one thing's for sure, we basically need to supply almost every airport on the map with these supplies to help the airplane reach its destination. Okay, there's an oil refinery here. We can deliver a train of oil from here down to the coast and have a ship bring this across the channel into France, and have another railway pick up that load and bring it down here to be processed into oil, and have another train deliver this oil to the fuel refinery. At the same time, picking up logs from the florist and delivering them to the lumber mill here in Lyon. We can also deliver coal and iron ore here to the steel mill, and there's a tool factory here in Rome. Jeez Louise, this is going to be a very hectic operation. There's also grain, which we could also bring over into Britain to basically be processed. So, we should also get started on operating a simple shipping operation, picking up loads of grain from France and bringing them into London. Which is this port connected? I think it might be. I'm not so sure. No, it's not. There needs to be a connection port somewhere. There we go. Much better. We'll need to also place this port somewhere else. We'll place it right nearby this, and have a trucking operation pick up the loads of grain and bring them down to the harbor. We'll basically place the station for the trucking operation here, Lyon Halt, and place down this here. I'll also place this one down here, and place this one up here for the oil deliveries. Which I'll need to set up a freight line. I'm actually going to put this at a 240 meters for the freight station. Pick up the oil there. We're also going to use this unique traffic track called GT2 Track 1.1, which, if we place some of these track sections down, they're actually Japanese. These tracks were actually Japanese. So, a unique type of track for the last mission of the game. Kind of cool. Anyway. Alright. Track has been laid. No catenary, because I don't think we'll have time for an electrified operation. Connect the both, which has a speed of 68 miles an hour. Build a switch here, and place down an engine depot right here. Now then, let's get some lines set up. This will be truck service A. Well, actually, this is going to be E for England, and this is going to be A1, which is going to be carrying livestock. So each country will have a designated letter before the type of service it's going to operate. I also want to prevent the roads from being too crowded, so I'm actually going to place down the delivery bay here. And this will be truck service EB food. Actually, I'm just going to rename this back to E and A. Alright, truck service is set up. We'll connect these two together. This will be freight train, E for England, A, raw oil. Full load, 10 minutes. Change to the blue. Connect these two together. As you can see, the land around here is completely below, is hundreds of meters down. Meaning, if I want to bridge this, this is going to be it might be very expensive. Ships are going to be known as shipping route E dash F France and A raw oil full load 10 minutes. Shipping route F E A 1 because it's going to also deliver fuel later on, and it's going to be grain. I always forget to add that little apostrophe at the end for some darn reason. Alright. I did not want to connect to that. I want to connect to the crescent. This will be truck service. F for France. A for first service. And it's going to be grain. I think we could basically do this for now until we start producing some more commodities on the map. But of course, we also got to get this oil delivered to the oil refinery. Let's see. I might as well actually build a double track station here for oil to be processed here in Vienna, as well as down in Madrid. So, do that. Build a 3-track station right next to this oil refinery here, which is kind of small for a refinery, but I digress. We'll also have to convert this track to the JT track. Let's see. Do the same for the tracks here in Lyon's yard. To be honest, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna actually operate passenger services on this map, because we're kind of a bit of a deadline. We only got till December 31st, 1919 to get down to, well, Australia. Well, we'll just see what happens. Collision. Dang it, this road is in the way. I also added some new crossings in as well. Some British ones, as well as some crossbucks as well. However, if a crossing is diagonal, I'm using the regular vanilla crossings, as if I use this, it's going to look a little bit wonky. So, with that in mind, we should also once we connect to here, then we can basically get started on full operations. Double slip switch this. Cross over this road. Curve it to the left. Then basically connect it here. Turn into a double slip switch. And now the trains will automatically use this route to reach the port. Speaking of port, we also got some new signals. Some of these upper and lower quadrant semaphore signals. Considering that we're operating in Europe, we're going to be using the British these UK one-way signals. If you probably have remembered when we were on that little island of Ceylon, we used these type of signal. We actually used the Japanese version of those signals. Let's see. Actually, there we go. Much better. Alright, let's see. Actually, I'm gonna actually convert this into a 2-platform depot for ships. As I'll need to bring in fuel in as well to this dock side. Let's see. We'll have this right here and extend this out a bit. At least London Halt will also provide a source for bringing in fuel from this track. We'll add the signals here to the junction. And I think what we basically need to do now is just add the shipping dock here and a road vehicle depot somewhere nearby in Lyon. And, of course, a station. Well, what am I saying? A depot for my trains. We'll build this one really nearby Lyon. Convert this into that. I'll have to basically put in a regular double-ended switch here if I can just get the curvature right. Put it at yes for one-way switches. Do that. And then add this. Oh, I actually forgotten to add the landscape no cost for this one. I'll probably add that before the beginning of the next episode. And now, wait, why did I put that in blue? It needs to be green. Then we'll have the new service picking up oil at the halt and bring it into Lyon on track 3. Full load, 10 minutes. This will be freight, train, F France, A, raw oil. Raw oil pick up. Alright. Let's buy some vehicles. Let's basically acquire... Oh, we actually got a couple of engines that we haven't even seen in the French map. Like this 080. We could probably add that to the list. And collecting some UK standard, well, wagons. Oh. Darn. Seems like I might have added the wrong mod. I could add the new mod in the next episode. We'll increase the capacity by this by, let's see. $300 units of raw oil at a brake van. We'll have to take out another loan, I suppose. We'll take it out to 50 million credits and see what happens. Train 1, put it on raw oil. As for the train in France, we'll probably use this BR 75.4 bad tank and several of these wagons to pick up at least 270 units. We're going to also add a brake van here as well, because European trains will have a brake van. Asian and European trains will have a brake van. The trains in the Middle East will have a caboose. Raw oil pickup. Let me get a truck for this operation here in England. Cargo. We'll use the Benz tarpaulin trucks. Pick up the livestock. I'm going to also take on another loan to about 70 million. Purchase a couple of these Benz trucks again. Pick up grain. And then purchase another 10 to serve on picking up loads of, well, food. And I also realized I already had one built in London, so that one was not even needed. We'll also set up 2 routes for ships. Let's see. We'll use the Vandal to carry the loads of oil. 1 to carry oil. 1 to carry grain. Oil and grain. Put on the timer, and away we go. Our first vehicles of our new map are on their way to pick up their needed commodities. This is going to be a very hectic mission indeed. So, I think... Oh, wait. I think it's probably best if I change this to vehicles used in England, since that engine does have a running number. Okay, let's see. We'll change this into the 080 type. That will have to I'll have to take out another loan. Convert. But yeah, I believe this is a good ending point for today's episode. Our commodities are now being picked up at their respective destinations, and I think we're about to get started on one of the biggest and challenging missions of the game. So, if you enjoy this episode of my Let's Play at Transport Fever 2, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Texas Gaming Industries for new video uploads every Friday or Saturday, depending on my on-site schedule. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye!